New Year, Q&A time. Let's not waste your time. Here's the first question. How can an American move to Japan without a degree and without marrying a Japanese person? It's not so easy, but also not impossible. From the top of my head, I can think of 3 options you have. The first one would be to come here on a student visa, so studying something in Japan, like the Japanese language. This allows you to move to Japan, but not to stay here forever. If you want to do that, you would have to get a job after that, and again, you would need probably a degree for that. The second option would be to get a work visa by having enough relevant work experience. And enough here means usually about 10 years or more, and relevant means working in a field that's wanted by the Japanese government essentially. So for example, currently science or technology. So if you know how to build an app, for example, that's pretty helpful. And the third one would be to come as an intra-company transferee. So if an American company hires you and then transfers you to a Japanese subsidiary, that's an option. Usually I think these contracts are limited as well. So German companies send their employees usually for up to 4 years. This is very beneficial for the employees because they get a German contract still, so they have a higher salary and much more vacation. Then if they want to extend after the 4 years, they will get a local contract and then have a little lower salary and almost no holiday. And I think they also have to switch to a work visa, but don't quote me on that. Biggest plan for next year. Not any big plans so far. I want to do many YouTube videos, but I will talk about this in a bit. What are your thoughts about the Emperor's birthday holiday changing? This year my work schedule was very different because of it. And now we have a holiday in the middle of kind of like a dead zone. To give a little bit of context on this, in Japan, the Emperor's birthday is a holiday. And the previous Emperor's birthday was on December 23rd. This means only 2 days before Christmas. So if you celebrate that, you could get out and get all the presents. Now, this emperor abdicated last year. And his son, who took over the throne, has birthday on February 23rd. So kind of in a dead zone, like the comment says. Now for me personally, 1, I feel you, and 2, for me nothing changes because I have to work on public holidays. Japan has 16 public holidays and I have to work that days, but instead I get special holidays, which I can take freely in the year. So instead of February 23rd, I could take a day off on December 23rd instead. Or I can just take 5 of them and take a week off. So nothing changes in this regards. However, last year there have been additional holidays because of the enthronement ceremony. I think 18 in total. However, my contract of course didn't change. So I still only got 16 days off, which is kind of a bummer, but that's life, I guess. Are you going to raise your children bilingual? German or English as the other language? Yes, bilingual, and German is the other language. That's because my English is just not good enough. That being said, we live in Japan, my wife is Japanese, speaking Japanese to my children and to me, and I work full-time, which means I see them only in the evenings and on the weekends. So the predominant language definitely is Japanese. Which places in Japan do you want to visit next? I've just come back from Nagano where I spent my New Year because that's where my in-laws are. Therefore I don't have any concrete plans now. That being said, within Japan I've only been on Honshu so far. Honshu is the largest island of Japan. Also the other islands are attractive to me, the large ones, Hokkaido, Shikoku, Kyushu, but also Okinawa. Also on Honshu I've never been to Hiroshima, for example, and I have only once explored the north of the island. So there are many places I want to visit, and the only limits are of course time and money. Do you have a favorite vending machine? Japan has so many vending machines. About 1 in every 23 people, about 5.6 million of them. And of those 5.6 million, the majority serves drinks. I think second place is probably cigarettes or food. One of them is second and the other third, I guess. And then fourth place is some weird stuff probably. And when I lived in Nagano, I lived close to a vending machine that had fresh vegetables, homegrown from the garden of the house that offered the vending machine. This was my favorite. Now we moved to Tokyo, and now I just like the one that has the drink I want to drink. In summer this would be nashi juice. Nashi is a Japanese pear. Or in winter it would be probably milk tea, hot milk tea. And I also like matcha latte, which is not so frequent, but it also happens. Yeah, I think that's it. A few questions. How would you say your year has been overall? I think overall it was pretty good. Is everything good with the family, visiting the in-laws, or maybe video calling the family back in Germany? Yes, all of that. Everything good, visited the in-laws, called the family in Germany. Any resolutions next year? Yes, definitely, and the biggest one is making many videos. Here you can see me writing down my resolution for this year, and it says Doga, which means very loosely translated YouTube video. I want to put out one video every week in this year. And this is now the third video in the third week of the year, so knocking on wood, so far it worked. I hope it continues like that. I actually already filmed 2 more videos, but they have not been good enough, so I threw them away. I also have some smaller resolutions. The first one would be I stopped eating processed sugar on January 1st. So I'm not a big diet guy, but with sugar it's like 100% or 0 for me. So if I get candy, I eat everything. I finish the job and then I feel pretty bad, like physically. So now I stopped eating sugar completely. And sugar is addicting, so the first week is always the hardest, so now it's getting easier. I will not do this for the whole year, but maybe, definitely for January, maybe longer. Also, because I don't eat sugar, I almost completely stop snacking, which means I also lose a little bit of weight, which I accept. And I have another resolution, which is not really a resolution, because at least not for this year, because I started already in October, and that is stretching. As you can see here, I can touch the ground with my knees not bent, but I cannot put my palms on the floor completely, and that's not good enough. So I started stretching. I don't do it every day, but about 6 days a week, and I plan to continue this throughout the year. I don't have a concrete goal, like I want to be this flexible or something, do splits or something like that. I just want to continue and feel great in the process. Are you gonna do any festive cooking? This year I made salmon for Christmas. In Germany for Christmas we eat mostly, I think, fish or some kind of bird, like a chicken or goose. And this year we had fish. And finally, how are you? Are you feeling well physically, emotionally and mentally after such an eventful year? An eventful year it has been indeed. For me, the 2 biggest events have been the passing of my beloved and admired Aikido teacher and the birth of my second child. One event, a very sad one, a big loss, and the other one, the complete opposite. A fantastic new little being has been brought into this world, and it's like sunshine every day ever since. Physically, I think I'm pretty fine, I'm healthy. Like I said, I stretch now more than I ever did before. I sit a lot in my job, so this usually is a little strainful for the lower back, and stretching really helps with that. Mentally and emotionally, I think I'm stable. So I think I'm pretty happy. My family is fantastic. Life in Japan is also okay. All in all, I don't think I have any reason not to be grateful for where I am now. How is Japanese Christmas and New Year's different from in Europe? Christmas in Japan is, I would say, only the outside. So there are many blinking lights, illumination, and also Christmas trees, lots of commercialism. You can purchase presents and take out your boyfriend, girlfriend to a nice restaurant. But Japan is not a Christian country, so there is no religious aspect. If you like that, if that's important to you, which it may be because you're from Europe, I guess, then you will not find that here. And for New Year, in a nutshell, there are no fireworks. I've made a video about each of these festivals and it's linked here. You can take a look there. There's more explanation. Going to Kyoto and Tokyo in March, April. Which Japanese dish is your most favorite one? And what is the best place to have it? Are you able to cook it yourself? This might sound cliché now, but I've been to Kobe only once in my life, and I had Kobe beef only once in my life, and it has been hands down the best food experience in my life so far. Of course, now I could probably cook it like a steak, but something as high quality, as precious as Kobe beef is something I would rather give to a professional. Have them prepare it, give it the treatment it deserves, instead of making the steak, making a mistake and then missing the steak. Now for you will be in Tokyo, so you can definitely get Kobe beef in Tokyo. It will be a little more expensive, so if you want to go to Kobe directly, it's not so far from Kyoto, maybe 1 hour by train, I think. And if you want to check the same restaurant I went to, I will leave a link to it in the description box below. Cute guy! Thank you, JWG. Also, thank you for watching and see you next time.